Hey, you just got a new chord map and you may find there's some grippiness or some static cling between the layers. So in this video, I'm going to show you some tips on how to break in your chord map. Because the chord map is made of high quality, thick, sturdy materials, instead of flimsy cardboard or plastic, that's why you need to break it in. Just like a baseball glove or any high quality thing like nice leather boots, you're going to find that you're going to have to break in that new thing. And it's the same with the chord map. Now, this chord map that I use, if I just rotate the layers, it's really smooth, really easy to rotate the layers because I've used it a lot and because I've used the techniques that I'm going to show you here. It's exactly the same as this brand new chord map that I just pulled out of the inventory. I didn't have a special model built. It's exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to break in this chord map using a few techniques. So what you're experiencing with that grip is some static cling. So if I try to rotate these layers right now, they're not rotating. I'm getting a little bit of rotation. And the temptation is to press harder, to try to, you can white knuckle it and try to move through force the different layers. But actually, while that seems intuitive, the better approach is to not press as hard. Now, first, we're gonna have to remove some of the static cling here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to gently kind of create a wrinkle between my thumbs, and I can lift up and release, actually just physically release the static cling that built up between those layers. I can also do it with the lower layer here, do the same thing and release the static cling. And that will help get some motion going. Sometimes though the static cling will build up again because it's basically static electricity. And so just by loosening up the layer, lifting the layer, and just gently lifting without lifting too hard, you don't want to create a crease, a hard crease in the material, just enough to release that static. Another thing that helps is to lift up and just gently tug while I'm rotating around the layer, and basically I'm just kind of creating less friction around this post in the middle. There's a post that goes through the middle of the board, and if the material is too tight around that middle post, it'll get stuck to begin with. So if you just kind of loosen that up and just gently tug, and it kind of opens up that hole. Also, I can push from one side and lift up that post so that this isn't pressing too hard against the material and creating a tighter grip. Now, something that I can do is actually just get a screwdriver and loosen it just a little bit so it's not so tight, and that will also help to loosen it up. And once I release that cling, get some motion, notice that I'm not pressing hard with either thumb. I'm just gently rotating the layers, and now I have total motion. Now, another thing is over time, it can help to just let the dust in your room add a little layer of, it helps to release the friction between the layers. And with my chord map, there is just a little bit of dust on the lower layer and between the layers, and that seems to help reduce the friction. They can't get stuck as easily. If there's ever a time not to dust, it's around your chord map. And lastly, just use it, because with use, you're gonna release that friction and really get your chord map broken in. And it took a couple of weeks of consistent use with my chord map for it to really get a smooth motion. So just use it, get that motion going, and enjoy.